Today is Monday, July 23rd, the memorial of St. Bridget of Sweden. Today is going to be a relatively light day. Today we're just going to make our way up to Budapest, Hungary. Upon arriving there, have our Holy Mass, and then we'll be provided some free time to explore the city on our own. And as I was sitting last night in my room, I was working on yesterday's video, and just sitting there in that discomfort, it reminded me of one of the important aspects of what it means to truly be a Christian, to accept suffering with grace. But of course, one of the things that's always missing whenever you stay in a hotel is religious imagery in your room. And I looked around this nondescript room, and one of the things I noticed, of course, as always, is there really isn't something to focus on. That's when the lightning bolt hit me. I need to focus on the cross. Now, of course, in the room, there is no cross. And then it clicked in my head. It clicked in my head. I have a small crucifix that I carry around with my little Mass kit. And so I took out that crucifix, put it in front of me, and was able to just enjoy, if you will, a little bit of discomfort. Okay, it's time to go get ourselves some breakfast for the day. It's open. Coffee. All right, so I got some coffee. Thanks be to God I got here when I did. 3 of the 4 machines are not working. So there is a spirit to pilgrimage. Certainly there's a lot of movement going from one place to another. But there are also those times when we're called to make a difference in our lives by offering ourselves for someone else. And so a lot of times when I'm on pilgrimage, I'll make an offering for someone back home. Okay, it's a little bit early, but I'm going to check out now because it's just kind of warm and uncomfortable sitting in the room. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Good, thank you. Checking out? 412? One of the things I can say for this place is that the people who work here are pretty nice people. They do genuinely have like a good intent. Pretty excited about getting to Budapest and especially going to St. Stephen's Cathedral where we're going to have Mass. All right, good morning, good Father. How are you today?
So far, so good, except for my iPhone. I feel like I'm half unclothed.
It's amazing how dependent we are on these dumb things, isn't it?
So half my life is on the phone with the apps and the contacts, and if it's gone, it's gone.
Poor Father Greg, in the sacristy yesterday, he left his phone behind. And now it's kind of like a production trying to get someone to go into that sacristy and find his phone for him. We just need someone to physically go in and verify if it's there or not.
Charger,
I have my charger.
medications, and whispers.
Yes.
Okay, Father, don't do that. Please, because I will.
To set us free from the hands of our enemies.
King Stephen I, and after him the cathedral in Budapest is named, and he was a father. He's the father of Catholic, Christian, Hungary.
Okay, so there I do stand corrected. I had the wrong St. Stephen. The St. Stephen of Vienna is St. Stephen the Martyr. The St. Stephen's Church we're going to in Budapest is St. Stephen of Hungary. So we're discussing the use of the Hungarian language here. It's the language that's not related to anything. So we're going to have to guess at everything.
Every time I turned around, there he was, that hairy hound from Budapest. Never have I ever known, never have I ever met a ruder pest. My fair lady.
I'm glad he knew the whole quote. I couldn't do it.
Even the hotel has a different name, and it's like Salavdo.
We're going to be on one heck of a linguistic trek. We've crossed from one country to another, certainly experiencing different cultures. But one of the important things that we've experienced is the fact that it's a universal church. In this regard, however, when it comes to the church, there are no borders.
Mark and I at our wedding, so our nieces and nephews were out visiting. All they did the entire time, they had their they call them devices.
Because we have to somehow get these people to move into a deeper spirituality and to learn how to communicate with God. And if their form of communication are all these fractured sentences and these broken thoughts, how am I going to ask them to come before the Lord? And okay, we're taking our first little pit stop break here. So we have crossed the border here, and we're now on our 4th currency. the Hungarian Florence. It's a nice little market here, some good looking food. Well, all in all, it's a pretty nice place for a truck stop. I just had a big breakfast, so I'm really not all that hungry today, but it would have been nice to try some of their pastries. The third joyful mystery, the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. So we've made it here to Budapest. We're standing outside of St. Stephen's Cathedral. We're going to have Mass here in a little while, but we have a short break until that time. The cathedral itself looks like a magnificent structure.
That's where you will find more places, but I think even here around the square.
Okay, so I think in my rush I took out way too much again. It's still very tremendously exciting to be here. Very much looking forward to saying Mass in St. Stephen's Cathedral here in Budapest. I always look back at the lives of the saints like a St. Stephen of Hungary, bringing the faith to the people of Hungary. The promises made by Our Lady of Fatima have all pretty much been accurate. I can't help but ponder about how 3 of the 5 countries that we have visited on this pilgrimage are all formerly communist countries. Countries whose conversion was brought about through the intercession of Our Lady of Fatima. Just reflecting on the persecution that happened in Poland and the martyrdom of Father Jerzy. Carolina just came flying by and said, oh, there's going to be a little bit of confusion on how we're going to be able to get to the chapel where we're going to have Mass. Okay, Father and I have made it here to the sacristy. We're getting ready for Mass. Know that your intentions will be included in our prayers today. So Father Greg and I just finished saying Mass here in this chapel dedicated to St. John Paul II. All right, we finished our Holy Mass in the John Paul II chapel here. The chapel where we had our Holy Mass is next to the Basilica. It's in the building next to it, not in the Basilica itself. Now we're making our way up to the major Basilica to get a brief tour. So we've made our way inside of St. Stephen's Cathedral here. And I'm about to go and sit and pray for a little bit, and I'll include you in my intentions. In a place like this, like I said, I go for focus. Here I found an image of the Black Madonna, and that gave me that moment of focus that I was looking for. A place where I could just pray to the Blessed Mother, ask her intercession, and accept the blessings that I am receiving in this place. All right, so we had a few minutes here in St. Stephen's Basilica. It's a beautiful place and a really deeply spiritual place, a great place to say a few prayers. All right, we've made it to our hotel. We just had to stop up the block a little bit, and we're going to take a walk up the street here and then check in.
Here we are.
Okay, things are back to normal here. We're at the Eurostars Hotel in Budapest, and they have all those great things that we love to have in our rooms, like coffee. Well, so much for a quick walking tour. It's raining outside.